Oh no, so you found a profitable product, but you were hit with the request approval button. This has happened to all of us. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get ungated in certain brands and subcategories and why you should want to get ungated. Now keep in mind, stick through the whole video because I'm going to have a bonus tip that'll help you get a higher chance at getting ungated. So I hope this video helps. What is going on, online retailers? And if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Mike Roscoe, and I coach people on how to start, build, and grow their own online retail business. And this is sometimes commonly referred to Amazon FBA wholesale by others. Now, if you don't know what online retail is, it's simply legally selling big name brand products such as Disney, Hasbro, Mattel, Sony, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, all those big popular brand names. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get ungated in these big name brands and certain subcategories and why you kind of want to be ungated, right? So the reason why you want to get ungated in these is, number one, less competition. So if you're ungated in something like Sony, for example, here, and another competitor is not, you could sell this product and they can't, right? The second and main reason is the demand for the products, right? If you're going to buy any controller, you're probably going to buy a Sony PS4 controller or an Xbox controller. You're not going to buy some generic brand controller, right? I mean, this probably isn't a great example because this controller is compatible with the PS4, right? Or, but let's just say you're buying a doll and you're going to buy a generic doll, or you're going to buy a Barbie, right? Or maybe Disney, or you're going to buy these big name brand products. So in this video, I want to show you how to get ungated in these brands, right? So let's just say your supplier sends you a deal via the email list or a spreadsheet, and you find this product, you do the product research, and again, I'm going to add a link above. So if you don't know how to do product research or add a product, make sure to check out the video, and I'll add another link too, because you're going to want to know how the whole process. I also offer a free course in the description below. So if you haven't signed up for that, make sure you sign up for that. I mean, if there's no demand for the product you're selling, how are you going to generate sales, right? So this ungating opens up tons of opportunity for you. And if you look at a majority of the sales on Amazon, most of them come from big name brand products. So number one, why you want to sell in ungated categories or brands. Number one, demand. Number two, less competition, right? So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about brand ungating. So your supplier sent you this profitable deal, right? Okay, you did the product research, you added the product, and as soon as you went to go add it, you got hit with the request approval button, right? So let's just click that and see what pops up. Request approval again. So it says at least one purchase invoice for products from manufacturer or distributor. Now, typically this will say a letter or an invoice. Now, if you're dealing with big brands like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Mattel, Hasbro, don't contact them directly and try to get a letter from them. You tell them, oh, I need to get ungated on Amazon. No shot you get a letter unless you know the brand owner, right? So what you want to do is a majority of my suppliers will send me a finalized invoice prior to purchasing. It's a win-win, right? So if, let's just say I purchase this amount, $5,000 worth of controllers, and I'm not ungated, and I already purchased it, but I can't sell it. So I'm backed up $5,000. That's $5,000 plus the profit that I could have used towards buying more inventory for next month, right? So it's a win-win situation for both of us. Now, I just want to show you what needs to be on a finalized invoice prior to you submitting it to getting ungated. Now, I have the notes up here, but I'm going to read off what needs to be on the invoice. I'm not going to show you because obviously my company name, the supplier's name, it's privacy, so I don't want to show you all the information. So what you're going to need on the top left corner, it's going to be my company name. Let me pull this up again. My company name, my company address. So it's going to be your company name, your company address, your supplier's address, your supplier's name, phone number, and website. So again, supplier's name, address, phone number, website, which is going to be all up here in the top right corner. I'm not going to scroll up. And then to the right, it's going to say ship to. Where is it shipping to? Now, typically, you're shipping directly to FBA warehouses. I spoke about this in the shipping videos. If you haven't seen those, make sure you check those out. I'll add a link above. You want to ship direct because you're cutting the costs. So if you ship from your supplier to your house or warehouse or wherever it may be, and then to the FBA warehouses, you're already eating into your profits because you're making an additional shipment, right? So you want to get your supplier to ship directly to Amazon FBA warehouses, right? So again, let me recap that. Your company name, your address, your supplier's name, address, website, phone number, right? And they definitely want the phone number because they want to verify if you're in fact purchasing from, right? So you also want the number of units. Now, if you send this, you can actually, this is the only number you can block out. If you were to send into Amazon a finalized invoice to get ungated in a brand, you can block out the rate. They don't need to know how much you're buying the product for, okay? So you want to send the quantity, the number of units, and the date of the invoice and date number. That's going to be in the very top right of this, right? You don't need the amount, you don't need the rate, okay? They don't need to know that. So just to recap, your company name, your company address, supplier's name, address, phone number, website, number of units, date of the invoice, and the invoice number. Okay? So let's get back to the screen. Oh, see, it actually says it here now. Omit pricing option. So you can actually check that. And it shows you now the documents must meet the following requirements. Your name, name of the address. Oh, and you have to purchase at least 10 units. I forgot to mention that. At least 10 units. And it says right here, please note that we may verify your submitted documentation by contacting product vendors you identify in your application. And that's what I just stated before. Dated on or after. So they typically like to do 6 months. By the way, I do want to mention why this business model is the real way to sell on Amazon. As you notice, when you try to get ungated in a brand, it asks for an invoice from a distributor or a manufacturer. This isn't retail arbitrage. This isn't online arbitrage. No arbitrage. You have to be working with a manufacturer or distributor to get ungated, right? That's what Amazon wants. So this proves that this is the business model to be in. So if you're doing arbitrage, you get a receipt from Target, Walmart, wherever, any of those big box retailers, you're not going to, that doesn't qualify as a verification for getting the products legally. If you want to legally obtain big name brand products, you have to be working with a distributor or a manufacturer. Just wanted to note that, right? So you get a finalized invoice prior to purchasing that product from your supplier. All you have to do, you ensure that all this information is on there, right? You want to ensure it. And you want to click select files, drop that invoice, it has to be a finalized invoice into here. And then in the comments, you want to put your company name, purchased X units. So here it would be 150 units on, and then put the date. Okay? Now, put your email address, and then put your phone number. That's optional. The phone number is optional. Put the email address, and then submit. Okay? So again, make sure everything's right on the finalized invoice. Put your company name has purchased X amount of units, 150 units, on the date. Put your email, click submit. Now it varies how long it takes. Okay? And one bonus tip, these are the bonus tips I have. All right? Number one, if it doesn't work the first time, people get frustrated and they give up. Keep submitting it. Sometimes it's just the Amazon sales representative. Okay? Keep submitting it. Bonus number two, do it late at night. They seem more lenient. I've had a higher success rate later at night. You know, you can have the most perfect distributor, the most perfect invoice. I shouldn't really say, but you know what I mean. You can do everything right, and it could be the sales rep that denies you. So just keep trying and do it late at night. Those are my two bonus tips. So I hope that clarifies any brand ungating. Now I want to go on to subcategory ungating. Now, what exactly is subcategory? Well, let me just type in Barbie. Let's see if any subcategories show various. What does this say? Okay, so perfect. Toys. You're going to be gated in certain subcategories, whether it's toys, female hygiene, lighting. There's going to be a bunch of just random ones that you're going to come across of. Let's see if I can find other ones. Let's see, Dove maybe. Oh, topicals, supplements, OTC medications. There's topicals, Advil. OTC meaning over-the-counter medications. Yep. So let's use Advil as an example. So you got this product from a supplier, you know, whether it was via spreadsheet, email, whatever. So you want to sell this product, but you see you have to request approval. You're gated in OTC medication products. Now, for some of you who haven't realized what gating means, it means restricted. You're restricted to sell these certain brands or subcategories. So you want to sell this, but you can't. So what do? Well, unfortunately, it's far more difficult to get ungated in subcategories than it is in brands. Okay. First thing you could do is you can ask your supplier if they have the proper documentation. Okay, I'll show you what that means in a second. But most of the time, they're not going to, so I wouldn't even bother. So again, you choose who you're buying it from, reseller, distributor, manufacturer. Most of the time when it's big name brand products, you're selling from a distributor, right? You're buying from a distributor. Again, you want to do the invoice and whatever it asks. So in this specific scenario, obviously you know how to upload an invoice now. Second, you need the image of the product label and packaging. Okay. Now, this is where you're not going to be able to get the documentation from suppliers, right? You could, but most of the time it's going to be tough and it might not even be worth asking. So either you upload an FDA registration screenshot, a GMP certificate, a COA, or any of the four here, okay? And you do the same thing. You know, make the comments on each, and you put your email address, okay? Now, what I did was the second option, right? I profited based off of brands that didn't require subcategory ungating. So what I did was I did the second option, which was auto ungating. So typically after 6 or 7 months of selling, you get auto ungated in these. Okay? You simply just request approval and instantly auto ungated. Now let's just say you say, "Oh, Mike, but I found this such a good product, profitable, not too much competition, and I want to buy it, but I just can't sell it because I just can't get ungated in subcategories." Now that method, the third way is to use an ungating service. Now I'll have a link in the description below to a certain ungating service, which is by far the best in my opinion. All right. Literally, if you cannot get ungated, he will refund you. All right. So again, he will refund you if you cannot get ungated. but he has such a high success rate that it doesn't even matter, right? So number one, you can ask your supplier for the proper documentation, which doesn't seem like it's very likely. Number two, you can wait until you get auto-ungated, which is typically 6, 7 months, 6, 7, 8 months into selling if you have good enough volume, right? Number three, use an ungating service, okay? So again, I hope this video helped you because, for some reason, it's not very clear for some people on how to get ungating, and I just want to make a video on it.